Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today is, in fact, a very exciting day because we get to listen to the new Billlie release that I've been so looking forward to ever since it got announced. We checked out the title track's MV, EUNOIA, and it was an amazing song. It was an amazing time, and I absolutely adored it to bits already. And now we get to check out the rest of the EP, and we might just listen to EUNOIA again just because I really liked it, but get to listen to the full EP now, the Billage of Perception, Chapter 3. Now, if Billage of Perception Chapter 2 was anything to go off of, we're in for a roller coaster because Billlie do not restrict themselves to one song, regardless of if it's across the multiple eras or if it's within their own, within the same album. We're going to go on a roller coaster of a musical journey. So, strap yourselves in. Let's jump right into it. Actually, before we do, two things. I don't know if this is going to survive Content ID. Well, if we're talking about Mystic Story albums, the Lucy one survives, so maybe we'll be okay. But then again, I don't actually really know what the criteria is. So, if on the off chance that this is on YouTube, and you want to skip ahead to a certain song, the timeline is going to be chapter based off of what song we're listening to, so keep that in mind if you want to jump ahead. If this didn't survive Content ID and this is over on my P-Cloud, well, sorry, you can't really timestamp over there, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But let's jump right into it, starting with Enchanted Night, Squiggly White Knight. Here we go.
깜깜하면 깜빡이는 느낌 가라앉은 공기와 chill vibe 들떠가는 발걸음 get time 어쩌면 useless 경상의 얘기라죠 Take it to a 합주하는 무대 같아
I'm trying to tell what pitch that bass is in, but it's so low, I can't really tell. I like the low vocals though in this pre-chorus. Oh, this is filthy bass already. Oh, I love it. Hit the brakes one time, jump back into the verses. One again. The musical silence. I love the vocal box effect in the background as well. Oh no, it's called a talk box, isn't it? And this build. That's clever. That's really well written. The musical silence before the chorus drop makes it hit so much harder.
We just walk and talk, walkie talkie, we don't need it. 달빛 아래 시작되는 말. Hey DJ, 저 꽉 찬다래 baby scratcher. Enchanted night.
Feel the vocal harmony.
Like a white knight. I can't define. It's weird, am I right? You are dreaming.
Oh. Oh, that song hits so hard.
The sound of night maybe it's a revelation. Sound of a pipe. What if it's not a pipe?
Nah. That song has no business going that hard. Nah. Yo, Funk Billlie is a vibe and I am here for it. Oh my goodness. The thing is, that song again is written so well. It's a song that doesn't require high vocals, which, like, sure, don't get me wrong, I love a good Suyeon or Haram high note. In fact, one of the reasons why Haram is my bias in the group is because her vocals are nuts. But give them kind of like this really like low key, like, kind of like chill vibe on the song, and oh my god, it flows so well. The song, it never, again, it doesn't feel like it drags, which is, I think, really important for kind of like a low-key song like this. The lower vocals is kind of, again, like the title is really appropriate. It's kind of enchanting in a way and kind of hypnotizes you because it draws you in. You're like, okay, okay. You pair that with that funky bass line in the background, and it's a combination made in heaven. And then they're not using the funky beat for the entire song because there's so many important moments where they're incorporating musical silence to just create that impact point. And boy, it's going to take me a long time to find it because, I should explain, the reason we aren't using lyric videos is because, well, none exist yet for all the B-sides. I'm recording this at like 3:30 in the afternoon BST, and this album dropped maybe like 7 hours ago or something like that, and there aren't lyric videos. That's why we're over on Spotify. But I'm going to try and find this chorus build up as quick as I can. The way they're allowing the vocals to carry the transition into the chorus, but also the vocal harmonies throughout the song, and especially on those killing points. Oh, exquisite. They hit so much harder considering that there's nothing to hide there. Acapella is some of my favorite like arrangement styles in choral music because the lack of an instrumental part leaves nowhere to hide. It requires the vocals to do all of the harmony work and the instrumental and the percussion part. Give them a moment of musical silence like this, and they're not choosing to leave one vocalist on their own. They're purposely providing a rich vocal harmony to back up that main vocal top line there, and it makes it hit so much harder. And I love that Billlie aren't afraid of doing vocal harmonies. Like, looking at their past songs, they are never afraid of throwing in just a very hefty sprinkle of vocal harmonies throughout their songs, and I absolutely adore that, and I love it, and I appreciate it so much. Right, Enchanted Night, what a great start to the album. Next up, Lionheart, parentheses, the real me. It almost feels Moonbaton-esque now. The rhythm is kind of Moonbaton. We're getting some vocals to shine now. Oh yeah. So we've gotten Funk Billlie. Oh, half time it on the drop for the Proofs chorus. Oh yeah. Oh, it's still going. That Mansuri entry was nuts. The fact that you knew what was coming too, with the like pulsing, like almost phaser like build up. Oh, that hits so hard. I forgot what I was even talking about before. sack it all up. I'm lost. I'm lost in the sauce. I love the big brass hits on like the. That's so cool. Double time it. There it is. I hear you on the vocal part up there. And this little halftime breakdown they do in the post-choruses. Oh. Nah. Again, this song has no business going this hard. I love this album's 2 for 2 for me. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh. Wow. Already, this is going to be impossible to choose my favorite B-side on the album because I love both of them. Oh, you know what I need? I need this Moonbaton Billlie on like kind of like a cypher mixtape style, like 3-album mini that I can just throw on a gym playlist because this song hits so hard. And what hits really, I want to go, where's that first chorus? I want to go first chorus into that rap verse because oh my god. Nah, she didn't have to come in like that. Nah. Oh, and the way they like lead her in, they're repeating like the first like couple syllables of her line, repeating it, build the volume, decrease the filter, and then just wham, she's finally. It's like that must be what it feels like to be a bowling pin at a bowling alley. Like you see the bowling ball coming towards you and you can't do anything about it to stop it. Just you're left to see what nature has for you and you can see what's coming at you. That's and the sass she has in her tone, like I'm pretty sure that's Moonsua, right? But like the sass she has in her tone there, oh, give it to me again. Nah, that's wild. That's wild. Okay, you know what? I know EUNOIA is the next song and we've listened to it, but I'm going to listen to it again because I really liked it.
Can you hear me? Let's go.
Interesting that there was no Billlie shout call-in. Or at least, I don't think there was throughout the entire song. And no call-in with chapter 3 either.
Heartbeat, heartbeat. 세상에 단 하나 소중한 you.
God, the song's so good. Okay, so the song doesn't slow down there. I thought maybe the song slowed down just a hair going into that second pre-chorus, but it didn't. And that hut on the high note, exquisite. All the vocal harmonies. They're complex harmonies too. Seiyun with the lower rapping tone? I didn't think that, like, Moon Suo would be the higher pitch rapper in this song, but it works really well. And this little dance interlude before the final chorus. And that delayed re-entry. EUNOIA. And the fact that we get such a nice long outro as well. I love that. Okay. What do we have next? Various and Precious. Get a little bit of a chiller song now. Okay. Even though it's a slower song, this song has a nice groove to it. It's kind of giving me like a more energetic coffee shop song. But peep the harmonies. Is this the fan song? Or is Extraordinary the fan song? I know there's a member-written fan song in here. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Considering in the lyrics it's believes you're so special, I'm pretty sure this is the fan song. But yeah, does anybody else get like kind of an energetic coffee shop song? Like, it feels like it got the right groove to be played at like a coffee shop, but with just a little bit energy, like Billlie energy sprinkled into it. Nice delicate vocals. I'm just thinking that this chorus is actually really busy musically. There's a lot going on. Yeah, this is a... I was about to say this song is complex in how it's been written. This bridge has proven my point. This song is really complex. Oh my.
우리 함께 끌어가 그림 믿고 있어도 나와 날 믿어줘 Cause you are so special
Okay, Various Impressions is like borderline a jazz fusion song. Wow, that song, especially like that final chorus was so busy. Holy smokes. Look, I'm going to use the following phrase in the most endearing and like most positive ways I can. Musical noise. Musical noise essentially, like in at least the way I'm using it here, is there are so many different parts of that song that's moving around at once that it like from a music theory point of view, and like if you were to write that part of the section or write that section of the song out onto actual like musical ledger, it would be so busy because there's so many different rhythms and notes, like scale sequences and things like that happening, that it's really hard to follow from a musical mind. But ultimately, when you listen to the final product, yes, it sounds like there's a lot going on, but there isn't really any point where it sounds musically bad. So, like, any dissonance within the notes, or like an unintentional dissonant harmonic chord that happens within a song. It just, there's a lot going on, but nothing ever feels like it's like blatantly clashing with each other. Like on a piano, if you play, say, a C and a C sharp together, it's going to sound really bad. You don't get that kind of like uncomfortable dissonance throughout that chorus. And that's a sign of a really smartly written chorus, especially it, when you have that many moving parts. It's really easy for something to go wrong. It's kind of the same with machinery. When you have a whole bunch of things moving at once, it just, the more moving parts that there are, the more chances of something breaking. It's kind of that's how it works with mechanics, and it's exactly how it works with music. The more moving parts within a song that exists, the more chances you create there's more chance that you create musical dissonance or unwanted musical dissonance, because you can have good musical dissonance. In the end, so you have the vocal top line. That's the percussion part in the background. The bass line is constantly moving back and forth. The synth part, both synth parts are moving around. You have the vocal top part floating off, a second vocal top part flowing off. So essentially, you had vocal part 1, the vocal ad-libs, so your second vocal, you have your main synthesizer, your secondary synthesizer, in occasional parts your tertiary synthesizer, your bass line, and your percussion line. I used the fingers in the wrong order. That's a maximum of 7 moving parts in that song. And if you're treating it as kind of like a jazz fusion songs where you can get harmonies like you use in jazz that are kind of like abnormal in a way, like compared to regular pop where the chords really do sound weird, that just feels like a jazz fusion song. It doesn't feel out of place in a jazz fusion album, and it just works. It's busy, but it works for a jazz fusion song. That's tough to do. Didn't know Billlie had that in their locker. Again, we've gotten kind of like throwback 90s pop, like synth R&B pop. We've had, shoot, I've forgotten already. We've had Moonbaton, we've had jazz fusion. Like, if you were here for the musical roller coaster, I think we got it already. But Extraordinary's up next. I believe we have this and one more song to go.
Yeah, okay. 마치 딴 사람 같잖아. 낯선 널 만난 순간
very minimal so far, not giving away too much. Just the vocal line, a bass, and a percussion part. We haven't had any background instrumentals besides that. Bringing a little bit of like the Watson. A little bit lower key in terms of like energy, especially after the jazz fusion song we just had. This was definitely giving me kind of like EUNOIA's little sibling kind of vibes. Like there's certain similarities with the type of sound they're going for, but it's a lot more low-key than EUNOIA was. This one's kind of giving me more like West Coast.
One more try. Okay, so
But it's that same vein of like 90s R&B synth pop type of vibe. Big breakdown into the bridge. That vocal top line. I don't know who that was, if it was Haram or Suyeon, but whoever that was, oh. Goosebumps everywhere. I can't really show you, but goosebumps, oh my. Ooh. That one was a groove. That one was a groove and a half. Ooh. Yeah, it's definitely giving me similar vibes to what EUNOIA did, but in a much different, much more like... You know, I called it the little sibling. This might be kind of like the older sibling in a way. It's a lot more subdued in the way it delivers the song, but it gets the same effect across. I quite like that. I want to listen to that re-entry into the final chorus again. Nope. Who is doing that? And their airy, breathy high tone is so pretty. Again, it's probably Haram or Suyeon. I just don't know who it is out of the two. It's so breathy and it's so airy and it's so gentle, but it's so spine-chilling. It just pierces through the song so well. And that really subtle vibrato going into the breathy final tone. Oh. Yeah, that's nuts. Okay. This has been such a time. All right, last song. Nevertheless. I was about to say, an album at the very end is typically when a ballad shows up. I don't know if this is going to be a ballad. It's not giving me ballady vibes yet, but we'll see. Depending on how the percussion part comes in, this could very well be a ballad. no real indication of what the actual pacing of the song is like yet. It's pretty close. It's not quite about it, but it's pretty close. Wow, they're going heavy on the lower end with this song. Oh yeah. It's doing the job that a ballad would do, but not in the traditional ballad packaging. Low vocals. Pair it with the high vocals. Also, really interesting composition choice. A lot more broader bass in the verses themselves, but once we get into the pre-chorus, it's a lot more bouncy. And then you kind of like combine it all into the chorus. This is a very bottom-heavy song, though, in the mixing. It's not very treble-heavy at all. Peep the harmony. As I was saying, this song isn't very high. We get the high parts, of course. This song has kind of just thrown everything I want to say about the album out the window, because it's negating, it's like the counterpoint to everything I want to say. Oh, wow, what an album. Nevertheless, legitimately has made me like reconsider what I was about to say for this album, because I was about to say, for the most part, this is kind of like a low-key album, in that it's not heavily focused on really high vocals, and it's doing vibes really well. But then nevertheless came around, and that theory went out the window, because my god, the vocal performance in Nevertheless was wild. But again, Billlie have gone and done their thing, and it's that essentially they aren't trapped in a little box. They never have been. And they will continue to not be stuck in their little box in a way, and it's kind of blowing my mind how flexible they are. Well, actually, that shouldn't surprise me anymore, considering this is like my third era with them, but Billlie continued to surprise me with just how flexible their range is in terms of what type of sound they can do, and just in general, what they can do as artists and their like vocal and rapping talents. But also that they're continuing to find new genres that they haven't really tapped into properly. And even if it is like a sound that they've done, they're keeping it fresh every single time. That's so important, especially for a group who's done, what is this, 3 EPs now, right? Billlie are on... Shoot. Yeah, Chapter 2 was an EP... Chapter 1 was an EP, and then... Oh, no, they've done 4. Yeah, 4 EPs. That's a decent amount of music that they've done. And Not once have I felt bored of Billie's music. That's really key, I think, especially for their longevity, considering I mentioned this in the actual like MV video for EUNOIA, but Billlie have gone with a different sound every single time for their title tracks. We know that Ring by Ring was that like kind of experimental synth song. Pretty vocal heavy as well. I like the harmonies in Ring by Ring. Ginga Minga Yo was like a cultural icon, super quirky, almost bordering on like Ujusong Chokomi and like Orange Caramel type quirky. I'll skip Snowy Night because that was kind of like a holiday single, and in a way, kind of Pop Bingsu was a special single, but I like Pop Bingsu, so we'll throw it in. The ultimate retro throwback song. And of course, it helps that their company CEO is this original person that wrote it too, but that's a story for another day. Then you have Ring My Bell, the rock anthem of rock anthems, drop last year. That's coming from a Dreamcatcher alt stan. Dreamcatcher does the rock sound really well, but Billie's Ring My Bell was a rock sound, like a rock cult icon for me last year. It was so good. The energy was tremendous. And now they've gone and dropped EUNOIA. EUNOIA being this kind of like modern take on the 90s, like late 90s synth pop R&B type of vibe, and it's really fresh. It feels like a throwback song in certain spaces throughout the song, but it just generally feels like a fresh new song, and I really like that. But it's not just that, it's the fact that Billlie have gone and done 5 other B-sides that are stylistically, well, I guess Extraordinary is kind of similar, but stylistically so different. Every single one of them is just so different that you can't really classify this entire Build Your Perception Chapter 3 EP as part of like one subgenre of pop. Like you can't really call it like retros, or you can't call it R&B, or you can't really call it like Moonbaton. You can't really call it like a ballad piece, because it just does everything. It's a giant mashup of a whole different types of genres, and they've done it continuously for 4 straight album releases, and it's so impressive. At one, their arrangement; two, the creative team behind Billie's music knows them so well and are like so confident in their skills that they're willing to do any genre out there in the world, and they pull it off every single time. That's spectacular. I love this album so much. This was so much fun, and it was so worth hyping myself up for this because, ooh, actually, this is a legitimate question. I'm doing another one of those year-end videos, or at least I'm planning to at the end of the year. I want to see, what do I have in album of the year? Ooh, ooh, this is going to be a close race for album of the year for me this year. Because there are some fire ones. One of them is actually a company or label mate of Billlie in Lucy, but yeah, this genuinely might Billlie might have once again topped a couple lists for me at this point. God, they never failed to impress me. That's the thing. Whether it be variety stuff or whether it be their musical stuff, even their like dance covers and stuff, never failed to impress me. They're so talented. They're just so talented, and we are so lucky to be able to experience them. But that's it for me today. Thank you all for listening along with me. If you just made it onto YouTube and you want to see more, channel icon is up there. You can find the back catalog of stuff I watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos. And if you want to watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.